You're listening to Hotep Ish with your host, Dewan B. Intelligent Ish Talk, intelligent shit talk, where we balance the profound with the profane. Political satire, celebrity and expert guests, information and entertainment, conversation and solutions. Leave your feelings at the door.
This is what I'm gonna do. I will play a message from a sponsor for the evening. I think I'm gonna do that because I still need like a minute to get ready. But my man, this book, Diary of American Stepchild, it's a dope ass book. I want y'all to take a look right now.
I am American Stepchild, and this is my diary. This diary is dedicated to the descendants of American slaves. Born in the projects, Ass out, the beginning was the end for me. No time to pout, born in the projects. Ass out, the beginning was the end for me. After 20 years of silence since the Miami Beach police assaulted me and almost killed me for absolutely no reason without being held accountable, with the support of the white supremacy religion system, namely judges, lawyers, and municipality, I tell my story.
Diary of an American Stepchild. Also, y'all know my documentary's out, right? On this same YouTube channel. On the video before this one, it's Bigger Than Hip Hop, the Black American Music Family Tree. I'm gonna need y'all to go ahead and run that. If you're watching this video, know that the documentary is out, the first episode. Watch it right now on this very YouTube channel. And for those of you who are here, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please share the video, like the video, thumbs up the video, and pass the video along to a friend or 10. But we here talking. Somebody said, share the documentary on my social media. Yeah, y'all need to share the documentary on y'all social media, please. What's up, Marquise, Derek Fuller, Melanator Brown, salute. Devin, D-Code Chief. We here. But I had a question. And I'm going to talk about this later on Twitter Spaces also. But where is this shit going for Diddy? Oh, yeah. And gonna come to my live music night on Wednesday. This coming Wednesday at Senator Jones in Santa Monica, California, 2020 Wilshire. Note the earlier start time, 8 p.m. Note the earlier start time, 8 p.m. Got a dope-ass live music show. It's fun. You're going to want to be there. And for those of you who were there for the last one, y'all saw what y'all got. But in the meantime, Andre 3000 does it again. And Diddy's having all kind of legal troubles. This isn't going to be a long show today. I probably won't even be on here a full hour. If you guys want me to take calls later on, tell me. Hit the number 1 if you want me to take calls. I may or may not take. If y'all want me to take calls, I'll take a few. But yeah, this isn't going to be. This isn't going to be a very long show. All right. And so yeah, this isn't going to be a very long show. So, but I just want to. This is sort of today. We're sort of just observing things right now. We're sort of just seeing what's going on. On one level, you have two people who made their day in the 90s. They made the legacies that they're living on right now was made in the 90s. Diddy and Andre 3000. Their legacies were being built around the same time. And on one hand, you had Diddy, somebody who made popular music for the masses to consume, did a lot of sampling, a lot of remaking, doesn't have the most wholesome reputation. Let me just put it like that. I think we can all agree, wherever you land on Diddy, I think we can agree that his reputation isn't the most solid. And then you have another person, Andre 3000, who the only thing he's ever shown publicly and word of mouth from him is He's a solid dude from what you hear in the stories, what people say about him. And on one hand, Diddy was mass consumption for the masses. 3000 was always about his art. So about his art to the point to when Love Below came out in 2003? Hey Ya hit so big, it made him run like hell from the spotlight. He did not want to contend with that level of celebrity. He's someone who, when you listen to his music with Outkast, and when he would drop bars on other people's records, he's always been someone that when he opens his mouth, he has something to say, and you can hear an overall concern for humanity within his lyrics and within the soul and the vibration of the music that he puts out. You can tell he's really in tune with spirit, whether intentionally or unintentionally. Diddy has been someone who's made big stars out of people and bigger enemies out of people. And his name is going back to the Tupac days through now. His name has always been involved in stuff. I'm not going to go through the details because I'm not one to help white folks prosecute a black man. But at the same time, I'm not defending this nigga at all. If white folks want to get him, I'm stepping the fuck out the way. And so on one hand, you see diverging paths, you see paths crossing in opposite direction. Diddy has been living high off the hog, and what's coming his way is a lot of lawsuits. For those of you who saw my card reading show last month on this, when I read Diddy's cards, go back and listen. It was his birthday was November 4th. I did the reading back in October. I said, Diddy, after his birthday, is going to start facing legal issues. It's in his cards. He has a 7 of clubs in his Jupiter. That's a card of courtroom troubles for somebody who's entering a karma season. He's in the 7 of hearts karma year. In the 7 of hearts year, 7 of hearts, if you get a card spread and your card spread has a 7 of hearts in it, that's the year you're going to meet your fate, whatever fate that you've thrown out there. We all got to collect receipts from what we've thrown out. So if you're in the 7 of hearts year in your cards, if you've thrown out goodwill, if you've been trying your best, of course people fuck up. People struggling, have issues. I get it. We all have issues. We all stumble. But if your overall trending was towards the higher side of your own levels of morality, you're going to receive a 7 of hearts year is going to be a really good year for you. You're going to collect the bounty of the goods you've been putting out. But if you've been putting out treachery and debauchery and bullshit, then in a 7 of hearts year for you, God bless you. Because it's time to receive what you've been putting out. And so, like I said before, I'm going to stick to it. Diddy's on a long path of having to deal with whatever he's put out there. 3000, on the other hand, he has put out, again, I don't know his personal life. I don't like getting into people's personal lives. I'm just getting spoken on with what's commonly out there. So why did I put these two on the cover? Because I think there's a lesson to be learned here between these two. Let's look at this as a lesson. And let's watch and observe. You know what I mean? Let's watch and observe. Let's watch and observe. Diddy's about to have to start dealing with a lot of the people that he done fucked over. That's why he was giving back masters and all that shit. I told y'all before, he understands. He has a card reader or somebody on his side of the game that's telling him like, hey, look, bruh, you might have to minimize your karma because your shit's coming. But you still can't run away from the past. You still can't run away from that. Keep running. You can't keep running in and out of your bullshit. Keep on running. You can't keep running in and from away from your bullshit. Sing it, Charlie Wilson. Oh, you can't keep running in and out of your bullshit. So 3,000, what he just did when he came with this album, I got a download when I was listening to it. Because 3,000, he creates music from spirit. He creates music from spirit. And when you go and look at the album New Blue Sun, I love the titles of these songs, but he creates through spirit. He's always done it. And he said that he didn't have words. He didn't have words. There's one song, the first song is called I swear I wanted to make an album, a rap album, but this is literally what came out. What that tells me is, what that proves to me is, for a master musician like him to get a download, to do a high frequency album like this, to me that's spirit talking and saying, this is the direction, that this is an opportunity for all of us to change our frequency. I've said it and it's funny, this dropped the same day my documentary dropped. And in my documentary, and what I've been saying, there's a new sound, there's a new frequency. Hip hop is done. And hip hop as we've known it, that's over with. We're never going back to 1993, folks. Remember that. Hip hop is never going to be where it was in 1993. The same way funk is never going to be what it was in 1976. The same way soul is never going to be what it was in 1969. It's done. Hip hop is done. There are new forms, new frequencies coming out, but the form and the frequency that we all fell in love with during the 80s and 90s is over with. So 3,000 dropping his album, that was one of the gods of rap telling you it's over with. The brother really tried to make a rap album. Like, you got to understand. Let's break it down. Let's break it down. When it comes to music, true music, authentic music comes from spirit. That's why it's called soul music. Our music is Black Americans. They don't come from no fucking Africa. It don't come from Caribbean influences. It don't come from people being in our neighborhood and partying with us. Our music comes from spirit. Music is a spiritual download. Authentic, true music. I ain't talking about sample-based pop shit. I'm talking about true music. It comes from the soul. And the real artists, the true artists, are only interpreting what the spirit is downloading to them. That's what art is. That's what comedy is. That's what music is. Music is a download. It's a gift that God gives us artists that we get downloads from. That's what music is. It's a gift from God. It's a download. So our artists that do music, that are originators, that are innovators, the artists that push the sound forward, they don't think of this shit in their mind. Spirit gives them something and they write it down. And they get in the booth and they push it out. That's where music comes from. Anybody telling you everything come from Africa, everything come from the South, everything come from this and influenced by that, yeah, when you're studying it and you're in class, you do get some, okay, yeah, you learn that, whatever. But the true innovators, a lot of the greats weren't even trained, to tell you the truth. Like Luther Vandross was never a trained singer. That was just his ear. Dennis Chambers wasn't a trained drummer. He didn't go to drum lessons. He just played like that. That's spirit. Music is spirit. Anybody telling you music is anything but spirit don't know fucking music. So the point of view that I take is, since Spirit chose Andre 3000 to pass this message, look at the name of the first song. I swear I really wanted to make a rap album, but this is literally the way the wind blew me this time. Man, my reading is fucked up. I swear I really wanted to make a rap album, but this is literally the way the wind blew me this time. That's spirit. How does one of the greatest people to ever touch a microphone who's been deathly shy of releasing an album for 17 years? You got to ask yourself, what gives that man not only the download to create the album, but the courage to put it out, knowing he's been dealing with extreme anxiety? If you listen to his interviews, this is a man that hasn't released anything or toured because it's been nothing but anxiety for him. So what part of spirit gave him the confidence to depart this far from music and put this out? I hear this album as a message from God. And it's a message saying there's a change in tone, there's a change in vibration. And that message is specifically for Gen X and millennials, the people who like 3000 the most. Because the kids, the ones that are 7 or 8, 9, they're being born into this frequency. They're going to have it when they turn 20, I promise you. The kids that are being born now, the babies, the 2-month-olds, the kids who are 5 and under, 6 and under, they've already incarnated under this energy. We have to catch up to them. We adults have to catch up to the children. The people who run this situation, this world that we're in, they understand this. They understand this. That's why they're giving you sexy reds. That's where they're throwing Sukihana in your face. Get it? Get it? So what I got when I was listening to this album last night was there's a change in frequency that's out there. And the change isn't being forced on you. This isn't being forced on anyone. This is what I'm saying isn't even about liking this album. You don't have to like this album. Most people are going to hear it one time and never pick it up again, and that's fine. I'm not telling people what they should and shouldn't like. I'm just telling you, I'm speaking from a higher level. I'm speaking from a frequency standpoint. For an artist this profound to get this frequency download and this level of a departure, that's foreshadowing to us that there's a change in frequency. And what is that change in frequency? The frequency of this song was to be quiet. The frequency of this album was to slow down. The frequency of this album was to rethink things. I hear somebody saying 3 Stacks needs to go back to rapping. That's somebody who doesn't understand what we're talking about here. You don't get it, brother. You don't get to decide where an artist needs to do. Spirit decides what artist does. And it's on you to either get it or not get it. It's on a different level. If you're thinking he needs to rap, you're not getting the message. And it's not saying stop listening to rap. But what it is saying is bring in something new to your musical diet. Incorporate more sounds into your musical frequency on whatever level that is. Because the generation that was born and raised on hip hop, the frequency of the hip hop sound from the 80s on through now, when we look at it creatively, outside of Outkast, because Outkast have always done it at a different level, but Outkast is always the exception. Outside of Outkast and select other producers, music is hip hop has been one of our lowest vibrational forms of music. The way the compositions are composed, it's the least musically sophisticated sound we've ever had. Because it's been too reliant on technology and other people of frequency from the 70s and 60s that they had to keep going back and borrowing from. And I'm talking to 75% of hip hop. I ain't saying all of it. Because, of course, Outkast didn't sample. They were always moving forward. They were always innovating, and along with other styles. But the hip-hop sound has boxed us into this 4/4, 2-bar loop, repeat, repetitive seance kind of thing. It didn't give us live strings to open our heart frequency. Strings, that's why when you fall in love, you notice when you fall in love, what do you say? You say, she pulled my heartstrings. Hip-hop didn't give us that emotional connection with strings. And I'm not here to damn hip-hop, I'm not. So if you one of them old weird-ass niggas talking about something, you just hating. Fuck out of here, nigga. This isn't a conversation for stupid people. This is a conversation for people who want to be open-minded and just be offered a different point of view. So hip-hop, if you grew up on that vibration and that's most of your sound, and I include 90s R&B in this. I include 90s R&B because in the 90s and the 2000s, R&B got onto the hip-hop frequency. R&B became far less sophisticated, and because of people like Diddy, rhythm and blues got on the hip-hop frequency. No string arrangements. So that means we have a whole generation or two generations now, 3 generations in, of heart chakras not being opened through strings. Again, hey, you gotta stop arguing, people. Somebody said they sampled at least once. God. How can I say this nicely? When people make points, we're talking about every truth is 85% right. There are always exceptions. Of course, Outkast has samples. The first song on speaker box, on the speaker box, Big Boys, speaker box. They sampled "Love Need Want You" by Patti LaBelle for one little hook. Yes, sometimes things happen. Yes. On an album too, every now and again. Yes, I'm talking about most of what they did. Let's not get caught up in minor details and miss the point of the story. We learn through stories. And when you get caught up on majoring in minors, you miss the story. Sit back and chill and listen to the story. We got, again, another thing. Again, when I look at some of the things that hip hop is, how it's hurt our community, I don't necessarily get in as much into the gangster rap. I have my opinions on gangster rap and the floss era, but to where I see it, where the hip hop frequency hurt us the most, is it boxed in our thinking. It gave us this linear / black and white Source magazine, who deserved 5 mics and who deserved 2 mics, who's top 10, this or that, memes on the internet. Here are 4 rappers, take one and all their music away. Who's your favorite lyricist of all time? Who's the greatest MC of all time? Who's the greatest producer of all time? What's your top 5? What's your top 10? Yada, 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 yada. That's what hip hop, this whole era and generation has done to us musically. You can't even have a conversation about music anymore without it being a fucking battle. Everything's a fucking battle when it comes to talking music with the hip hoppers. And I'm tired of it. We gotta stop that shit. Music is a story. It's a frequency. It's a vibration. The point is to catch the frequency and the vibration. The words, artists speak in double and triple and quadruple entendres. So what you may get from a line is something totally different than what somebody else may get from a line. Or you can hear a song that you heard back in the 90s, and then you've grown and you've matured, and you hear it again, and that same song take on a different meaning. That's what music does. So back to what we're talking about when it comes to 3000 and what he's doing with this frequency. This is for Spirit to give him this download. It's telling the generation that didn't get this sound put into our music to open our minds up. Because everything comes back to one. Everything has to return back to its original archetype. And we as black people, black Americans, we have to return back to our natural state. We are a musical people. We have to create from spirit. We have to learn instruments and take risks. Every new genre of music that we can think of is because somebody took a risk of putting something out there that wasn't out there before. You got to realize, when James Brown went to funk, that had to be a tough decision for James Brown, man. James Brown was already number 1. Do people understand that? James Brown was already number 1 doing songs like, please, 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 please don't go. Honey, please don't go. Oh, yeah. I love you so. Please, please don't go. Please don't go. James Brown was totally fine doing doo-wop, traditional rhythm and blues of the time. Little Richard derivative, but slightly slower. James Brown was playing Little Richard, but it's a little bit slower. He was fine with It's a Man's World. He was already number 1. James Brown live in 1963 sold over 1 million copies. That's unheard of for an album in the early 60s when the economy wasn't shit. Man, that was like one of the highest grossing albums at the time, live albums of all time at the time. James Brown was totally fine. But God, let me get my preaching music on. Let me get my preaching music on. Can I preach? God, the good Lord, hallelujah. Spirit came to the good God, James Brown, and said, take that sound off the 2 and put it on the one. Appreciate the Cash App, Isaiah Edwards. Nah, Motown did not start the stream of catering to the masses. They just perfected it. VJ Records was doing it before Motown. So was Chess Records. So was Black Swan. Motown just perfected it. But James Brown, before he went to funk, James Brown was bigger than Motown. That rhymed. Say it again, DeJuan Brown. James Brown was bigger than Motown. Yes, him alone. He was bigger than the Temptations, the Supremes, Smokey Robinson, Stevie Wonder, all at one. James Brown was that nigga before he went to funk. But somewhere the spirit came through him and said, put the accent on the one. And he placed the accent on the one. Dun-dun, 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 dun-dun. Papa don't take no mess. You don't know what the one is. Papa don't. One. Papa don't take no mess. Nigga. Pop the snare on the 2 and the 4. James Brown did that and took a risk and changed sound forever. The sound rubbed a lot of people the wrong way because they were like, how are you going to basically play a whole song that's a bridge? James Brown would basically turn a bridge into a full song. And they were like, what the fuck are you doing, James Brown? Now we look back and be like, yeah, hip hop, funk. It's like whatever now. But it took somebody that was already on top to have the balls to change it up and do something different. I equate this album with Herbie Hancock doing Rocket. There was a new frequency, there was a new sound. Rocket came out in what year? 1983? When did Rocket come out? Yeah, 1983. So yeah, we dealing with 40 years. 40 years. From 83 to 2023. What Herbie Hancock was doing when he came out with Rocket, he was letting the old niggas know there's a new sound that's here. Hip hop had been around for a little bit, and the old folks saw it as a novelty act that was going to die one day. See, I was born in 81. Those of us born around that time, we were born into the frequency of hip hop. It was accepted. It just is. It just was. We were born into the frequency vibration of hip hop. Those of us in our 40s and early 50s, mid 50s on down, you were born into hip hop. You were born with the frequency. But the generation that was in their 40s at that time, where we are now as millennials and Gen X, at the stage we are in our life, we needed a music god from our generation to tell us there's a frequency shift vibration going on. That's what Herbie did. And if you hear somebody else saying this later on, put in their chat where they heard it from. Me. Tired of my shit going across the internet and niggas not giving me credit for where they heard it from first when it comes to this music thing. I'm tired of that shit. So make chat room, you hear somebody speaking about this, make sure you rate their comments. Yeah, you heard that from DeJuan first, yes. 40 years ago, Rocket dropped. And that was Herbie Hancock telling his generation there's a frequency shift vibration. This is the new energy. Scratching, mixing, break beats. You have to understand, to the generation, the baby boomer generation and the generations before that, hip hop is a mass disturbance in the sound because they're used to music that opens their heart frequency, string arrangements, horns, the fire element. Earth, music is 4 elements. Music represents life. Earth, air, water, fire. Earth, natural drum sets and bass with humans playing. Water, the keys, they can go anywhere like water. That's the liquid of the music. The morphs, everything that feeds the music. The air of the music, the strings, the horns, and then the fire of the music, them guitars. And then all 4 elements into one is the human voice. The singer out is stronger than any instrument. The singer encompasses all 4 elements. And the greatest singers are women. Men can sing good too, but nobody sings like, no one can invoke spirit like number 1. And that's the black woman when it comes to vocal arrangements. Just like nobody can rap like men. Rap is a more masculine form of our music. Rhythm and blues, the singing, that's the feminine form of our sound. Rap, hip hop had to come in very aggressive. That's a more masculine form of our sound. The brothers and sisters, the rap and the singing. Rap and singing are just brothers and sisters. But Herbie had to let the old niggas know that there was a new sound coming in. And this new sound is going to be disturbing. It's not going to have these grand string arrangements you're used to. It's not going to have these horn arrangements you're used to. It's not going to have all that background singing and lushness. It's going to be a broken down sound. And it took Herbie Hancock to tell the old niggas, this is what's coming. And guess what happened? It came and is here. Now it's time for that sound to move on. It's time for natural music, natural instruments, because AI is going to take the synthetic shit. The synthetic shit, AI, that's what AI is for. AI is going to own the synthetic market. The only place for humans moving forward in music is to play natural born instruments in harmony with other musicians. So 3000 came to tell us old niggas, this is the new frequency vibrational shift. The 5-year-olds already got it. They're born into it. The 10-year-olds are born into it. And you're going to see it as they express their music. I'm out here on these music streets. It's young niggas out here on these instruments, for real, for real. Just because the industry is giving you Cardi B's and Sexy Reds, make no mistake about it. There's cats like from Butcher Brown rapping, singing, playing the saxophone and trumpet. That's where we at right now with it musically. There is a different thing going on. And these crowds of people in their 20s out at these events with the live music. So I see this album by 3000 as a message to us old niggas. There's a frequency vibrational shift going on sonically. And it's a peace offering. It's a gentle shift. Because this music 3000's playing has been around, but now he's opening the doors for people whose mind may not have been even, I'm not gonna say, it just sounds like this just did not cross a lot of people's minds to look up. But when you're dealing with a music god like this, tuning into this frequency is opening doors for people too. And again, I'm not saying stop listening to what you listen to. I'm not saying you need to change overnight. No. What it is saying, what I got downloaded through Spirit was, this is a time for us to add to our music selection and tap into this frequency, because there's a lot of shit going on right now. And we really about to go through more shit in this country and this world. The wars. You see, we're going to a scorpionic season these next 2 years, man. So lots of wars. Shit's about to get real crunk. 8 of Hearts next year, confrontation, physical confrontation, passionate conversation, a lot of confrontation, a lot of passionate debate. In the next coming few weeks, I'm gonna start doing readings on next year for y'all. Next year's 8 of Hearts year. I'm gonna start doing readings on next year for y'all. But That's what's on the way. So the safe space is internal. The safe space is inside. And to tap into a love vibrational frequency within you. That's what's going to help us get away from all this shit going on. The media is going to keep harassing us about bullshit. The media is going to keep making us think that the world is over, that there's nothing but death and destruction coming our way. If you're tuning into the media, you're going to get depressed. Appreciate that unique organic haircut. Yeah, this album definitely. Oh, she said loves this album, keeps you open creatively. Yeah. We're going into some heavy shit in the external world. So if you're focused on what's going on in the media, what's going on with these wars and famine and murder cases and the public divorces and bussy activities of celebrities, you're going to fucking go crazy. $3,000, the man who has the words for everything going on said, you know what? We're going into a season where this isn't a time for words. You don't need to hear what I'm saying. Let me play something that you can feel so you can hear what you're saying. Do I gotta say that again? 3,000 basically saying this. This ain't time for you to hear from me. But you do need my spirit and my essence musically. So what he did was he gave us his heart and his soul sonically. He gave us what his spirit is communicating to us in essence. And in that spiritual communication, in that essence, you now have to tune into your thoughts and what do you think? What do you feel? More importantly, what frequency? What emotions are coming out of you dealing with this music? And can you face it? Again, I ain't saying listen to this every day. But what I am saying is maybe now is just a time for all of us to tap into ourselves. It's not about what Andre 3000 says or thinks. It's not about what Hillary Clinton says or thinks or Roland Martin. It's not about what DeJuan Brown says or thinks or Dr. Umar or whatever shows you watch and YouTubers or whoever you're into. Maybe it's not as much about what we think, and it's more about what is your spirit telling you, what's coming through your soul. That's why I talk the way I talk. I don't want no cult following. I don't want no followers. I don't want that. I want people around me who listen to me, who think for themselves. I want people who when if I say something that spurs thought, you further investigate why that thought got spurred inside of you. That's my intention. That's my hope. That's my goal. It's just spur thought. And if the thought spurred enough inside of you, then investigate it. Investigate that thought. Why do I feel this way? You know? That's what this is about. This is about a time of self-check. While at the same time we're juxtaposed with Diddy. Somebody who's been living high off the hog. Somebody who's Mr. Love, Mr. Party, Mr. Fly Guy. By all accounts, has not been the best person to be around. You know, by all accounts, somebody who hasn't done the best by the people closest to him, shall we say. He's now having people come out, and it's just now getting started. Cassie's the first. He did the right thing by paying her right away because he paid her right away because he knows. He knows. And let me say something to you fellas out here, especially you niggas that like bragging about making money. Let me tell you how the game worked. And this is a game that I got from people with the money. And a few men I know in my life that had a lot of different women that knew about each other. For you guys who want to play that kind of lifestyle, Mr. Player Players, Mr. Deal with the ladies kind of dudes. You got to break women off. If bread and money is a game you're playing, then you better break bread. You had these cats that come out here trying to throw money in women's faces and use the money as power over them. How you enter the door is how you leave. Let me say it again. Life principle. How you enter the door is how you exit. You enter the door with money, and money is what you're using to dominate people, to abuse people, to mistreat people. You just slap you, and they're taking it because of the money you have to offer them. You best to believe when that ride is over with, break bread. Break bread or fake dead, one of the two. Break bread or fake dead. There's cats out there that do all kinds of things, but they break that bread and everything's on the up and up. Yes, it's about the money. Yes, it is. If money is how someone gained control over you, then yes, it's about the money. I don't know what's up with these fellas out here. This is a message to the fellas. This is a message to the fellas. You can't defend a nigga just because he's a man, just because he's a man. I understand a lot of dudes out there have been hurt by women. I understand that there are fellas out there who women have taken advantage of you and taken your bread genuinely, or somebody you know. But you cannot allow your story to play out through other people in the media. Diddy is a known degenerate. Now, for you guys that are other parts of the country, maybe you guys don't know. But I'm from LA, and I'm sure people from New York understand. If you've lived in New York and LA, and you are what kind of live connected to anything, these stories aren't new. When you heard Cassie say what she had to say, see, a lot of you, I seen niggas online going through deposition and saying this couldn't have happened and where did this come from? And is it a white supremacist behind it? No. Niggas heard this shit 15 years ago. And I'm not gonna get all into the details of it because, again, I'm not gonna help the white supremacists out. So I'm not gonna, they're gonna come after him. They are coming after him. But bruh, it's put out a lot of bad energy. I'm not saying what happened in that deposition. I read it. I'm not saying everything in there is true or I've seen it all. No, I'm not saying it all. But what I am saying is some of the things that I read in that deposition rhymes with other things that I've heard happen. Put it like that. some of the things that I read in that deposition rhymes with firsthand stories I heard 20 years ago. Rhymes with firsthand stories I've heard from people, multiple people who's been around. There are a lot of people that be around Diddy, not, when I say around him, I don't mean like close personal friends, but he's a musician, and he's a producer. He's in studios, in music studios. That music world is a small environment, players. The music world is a very small environment, so stories travel fast. So just because it's a situation with Diddy getting sued by a woman, it may rub some of you niggas the wrong way because of your own personal dealings with women. Caution yourself on who you align yourself with. Because Cassie ain't the only one that got these stories, okay? It's a lot of people. And I'm not going to side with somebody who has a reputation of dicking over other black people. It's just, no, I don't know if Diddy's earned that from me. So when you go through it, you're seeing was another thing that's happening in this frequency shift. People are having to pay for what they have been putting out, good, bad, or indifferent. And especially these three of diamonds people. Diddy's a three of diamonds. Trump is a three of diamonds, and he's in court. Bill Cosby's a three of diamonds. He's in court. Polite's a three of diamonds. He's in jail. These three of diamonds people, yeah, y'all having a lot of three of diamonds them is some. They can be some shady ass niggas, especially when they're at a young age. And you say your cousin worked for Puff? Yeah. You nigga better watch who you align yourself with. Diddy got his own troubles that he gonna have to deal with. I read that. Y'all saw I read his cards. Yeah, buddy. Watch who you align yourself with. And if you one of them dudes that's player about your bread, yes, break bread or fake dead. You want to play these games with people, manipulate people because you have money and you want to hang that over their head? All right, cool. When the party's over, break bread. I'm not going to take that away from her. From the stories, from the first-hand stories I've heard of what Cassie had to deal with, any amount of money that Diddy had to pay, he's getting off lightly. Break bread or fake dead. Yes. You got these niggas that want to go around talking about how much cheddar they got and how they alpha male this, and what was that Kevin Samuels thing he was saying? What was that word he used? High frequency, high value man, whatever. Thank God I ain't been hearing that term much this last year. But that you was hearing that term every fucking day 2 years ago when Kevin, rest in peace, Kevin Samuels, no disrespect. But what people was taking his talking points and talking about how high value man this and high value. Well, if you're a high value man, break bread or fake dead. Yes. And if you're the kind of brother, now let me tell you something. For you fellas out there, you don't necessarily have to break bread with women. There are women that are out there who just want the presence of a man. The genuine open-heartedness and love of a man. To where his money doesn't matter as much. Of course, you can't be no bum ass nigga. Let's make that very clear. But if you a man that's on your mission, you do what you love to do. You try your best. You put in a hard day's work at whatever it is you do. And you are about who you are as a man. You are who you say you are. Behind the mask. You are who you say you are. Behind the screen. Behind the fancy cars. Behind the sunglasses. Behind their fancy suits and shoes and jewelry. Who are you behind all that? If who you are is a genuine soul whose intentions are the highest good, there are women out there for that, brother. You don't need to lead with your money. I, for one, I've never led with my money with women, and I don't have women issues. I've never had women issues. I've never had issues with women. And some of y'all, and then what's the natural reaction you'll get from a lot of these niggas? Is somebody listening right now? Yeah, but you fat. Yeah, nigga, but yeah, you got a six pack, and you can't keep a woman by your side for more than 6 months. Who won? Me, nigga. I won. Or you are with a woman and you don't even get along with her. You got other niggas that get with a woman. They talk to that woman all fucking crazy. She don't really respect him. They don't really get along. You just married because he was told to get married. And you in this fake, I get this shit all the time. That's why me and my wife, we don't go on double dates. Half these couples be miserable than a motherfucker. I be like, God damn. We and my wife went on a double date like about 1.5 years ago. We was like, yeah, there's a reason why we don't do this shit. These motherfuckers is miserable. You really can get a woman off just being you. And in that situation, you don't have to break bread. Because there's no amount of money that can replace your presence and your essence. And she needs to be around you. She has to be around you. If just to touch your frequency for a little bit. That's what you get when you operate in your pure divinity as a man. In your masculine nature. Your kingship. But what's the first rule of a king, fellas? First rule of a king is to serve his kingdom. If a king doesn't serve his kingdom, then that king is going to be ousted from his kingdom. A lot of niggas get it twisted. They think kingdom, they think leadership means being domineering and demanding and overbearing. Black men, we can't abuse power. That's what white folks do. That's their thing. We get too many black men. The men, they get a little bit of position, they turn into white men, abusing their power. That's not our frequency. A true king serves. Service first. Service to the kingdom. What does the kingdom need? The king gets his last. The king makes sure the family eats. The king makes sure the family's protected. And then when a king is off doing what a king needs to get done, the queen is running everything else. And the shit that she's running is the shit that the king ain't got time for. But is necessary to keep the kingdom alive. But you gotta be of service first and give the kingdom what it needs. That's the part that a lot of these niggas don't understand. They think being the king is being the dictator. And that's why your ass is single. thinking that money is gonna do it. No, nigga. No. There's another nigga out there with more money than you. If you think being a slick talker is gonna do it, there's another nigga that talks more slicker than you. But there's not another man on earth who can outdo you at being you. The only place you can win, the only place we can win is by being ourselves and being within our true essence, within our true divinity. Not trying to be somebody else, not trying to be what people want us to be. Not Mr. Big Bucks. Because again, you come in on some superficial, I'm Mr. Big Dollars. I can mistreat you. I can mistreat people around you because all I gotta do is slap you with a few $20 and $20 bills and you'll take it. All right, fine, game on. But when the game is over, you're gonna have to pay. So it's best that if you're not in the paying business, if you're not in the breaking bed business, then don't get in that business of making your money first. Be you first. Be you. Only thing you can be is you. And that's where you're going to win. And that's going to put you in a position, fellas, to make you irreplaceable to a woman. Because she doesn't want a man, she wants you. But in order to give her that, you have to be operating at your highest frequency. You got to be on your mission. You have to be focused. You have to be taking care of yourself and being operating on your highest frequency and tapped into who you are. Love who you are. Don't project some big bad shadow and then be a fucking wimp behind closed doors. Women don't respect wimps, nigga. Especially if you project to be some bombastic character. And if she see you, if a woman sees a dude when he's around other men be some bombastic character, ooh yeah, when he's in public, but then when she see him behind closed doors, he's a wimp, she ain't gonna respect you. And she gonna be buying her time before she leave you. Especially if you one of them niggas with money. Oh my God, should I even go there? I was ready to get off because I'm doing Twitter space in a couple hours. Should I go there? You really gonna be fucked up if you one of them dudes that play around with your money and you project this big old bombastic life, bigger than life character in front of people, and then she finds out behind closed doors you just a wimp. Once she sees behind closed doors that you ain't who you say you are, she's already exited that relationship mentally, and she's just trying to get what she can get until it's time to go. She's gonna drain you of what you got, and two things are gonna happen. Either somebody with more is gonna come along and she's gonna leave you for them, or she's gonna slow bleed you to the point to where you have to get rid of her because she ain't operating on the program you want her to operate on. And then when you do that, she's gonna come and get your bag, especially if you were mistreating her on a grand level. You can count the days, nigga. Count the days. Count the days. So how do you brunt that attack, fellas? By being yourself. By giving a woman you. And let me tell you one more thing. I don't care if you've been heartbroken. We've all been heartbroken. Open your heart up again, nigga. It ain't no badge of honor to be like, man, I ain't fucking with these hoes, man. Man, that's a response to critical heartbreak. You ain't got over Shantae that when you had your flat top and your motherfucking 1999, or you had you didn't have a flat top in 99, nigga. You had a fresh fade 99, You had on some Jordans. You had a Camaro T-top on some 20-inch Daytons. And Shantae fucked your homeboy Travis. And she broke your little heart. You thought she was the one. And ever since then, you've been mad. You've been, ooh, women this. And oh, these hoes that. And these bitches that. Shut up, nigga, and open your heart again. Get over that. Or if you don't want to open your heart again, move the fuck on. Don't be complaining about women all the goddamn. If she broke your little heart that much, then own it. Then just, okay, move on. Don't go around on this crusade going at all women because she broke your little heart, nigga. Cry 2 tears in a bucket and say, fuck it. Get over it. Somebody said, I don't know everything. I don't know everything, but I do know that your mom's taint smells like gefilte fish, nigga. Fuck out my chat room with that bullshit. I know that you a hoe, Bilbo. That's what I do know. I don't know what's in the stars in the sky. I don't know what tomorrow's gonna bring. I don't know how to make a coffee cup. I don't know how water is recycled from sewage water into drinking water. I don't know a lot of things, Billy Bo, but I know that your mom's a hoe. Psh. Back to what we talking about. It's always that one dickhead. You got your attention, Billy Bo. Now, go back to jacking off to cartoon pictures, all right? So, we got to understand that you got to open your heart. Got to open your heart. And through opening your heart, you can then start to attract and be who you are and attract people who care about you. Not what you present, not what you bring. You got niggas that are 67 years old, about to be 70, still not understanding that women don't give a fuck about what you bring. And the ones who do give a fuck about what you bring, don't give a fuck about you. And I speak to the fellas because I am one. All right? And I speak to the ladies also. But this particular message is to the fellas because it's a lot of people I see people defending Diddy. It's like, all right, bro. Right is right, is wrong is wrong. And you deal with somebody that's dealing with somebody on a money frequency, then money's gonna be the frequency of that relationship, period. If you don't want money to be the frequency, don't make that a part of you guys' dynamic. Period. All right. But it's dope this album came out the same day as my documentary. That's up live, available right now here on YouTube. It's the video before this one. I'm gonna figure out how to pin that video to the top of my page because I need to go back in and just rework my whole YouTube page like a motherfucker. But this is a little bit for those of you who want to see what we own. This is what we own right here. Go and watch it right now.
Is used. And it's been that way, and it's been that way for a long time. Because when we talk about the elements of hip hop and all of these things that are hip hop, we talk about what? The graffiti, that's basically calligraphy. Well, Black music has always come with its own certain style of calligraphy, a certain way of writing, because each generations of Black people wants to find their own unique way of expressing ourselves. Other cultures generally pass things down. For our culture, we pass things down, but every culture has its own twist on it. You know, when it comes to style of dress, hip hop had its own fashion. Well, so did bebop, so does disco, so does funk, so does heavy metal, so does blues. You got your rural blues style with the overalls and the salt and the straw in the teeth and the straw hat, and then you got the more refined Memphis style of blues, Mr. Bobby Rush, where they're gonna wear a loud yellow suit. You know what I mean? So each particular sound in our music has always come with a particular style of dress.
See,
our music.
That's how in depth we getting at. It's bigger than hip hop. We get so grounded into everything just being hip hop. Hip hop is a sub-segment of our sound. And one of the greatest hip hop artists of all time doing something, a complete departure from hip hop, is proof that my documentary is right on time, and the evidence and the point of view I am presenting is right on time. And so please go and watch it if you haven't. There's a GoFundMe connected to it so we can keep this series going. Donate to the GoFundMe. So that's where we at with it right now. And there's a new frequency that's coming about. And you don't have to change. You don't have, no one's being forced to do anything. No one's is told what to do. But it is an offering put out there for those who want to incorporate more sounds and more natural frequencies into their music diet. Because we need that back into it. So that's where we are moving forward. And people out there, Diddy, I don't think he's gonna go to jail or nothing like that. I didn't see prison in his cards. At least I've only read him through the next year though. I didn't read him past the next year. So if prison's in his cards, it's further on out. But no, I don't see prison in his cards. But I do see his money being drained. They are about to go for Diddy's money. Yeah, make no mistake about it. And all they're gonna do is use people from the past that he fucked over. So on one hand, yes, we that understand white supremacy can talk about it from the point of view just the white supremacy getting his money, yes. But they're only using people he did wrong. The key is, Black people moving forward, do your best to do right by people. Do right by people. We're all gonna make mistakes. We're all gonna have sometimes even exceptions where we intended on doing right with someone, but a piece of business didn't go the way we wanted it to go. That can happen. Even the best of people, the best of intentions can get caught up in a situation where it didn't happen the way everyone thought it was going to happen and stuff gets screwed up. I ain't talking about that. But what I am saying is, nigga, almost everybody that work with you don't really have the best to say about you. Mary J. Blige had to fight for her money. She couldn't just get it. I mean, nothing when it comes to people getting their money right. It's always a battle. It's the relationship issues. It's a lot. So stay away from that shit. And be on the high side of what you got going on. Do your best by people. You're not going to be perfect, but do your best. And be tapped in the spirit, all right? Cool. I'm gonna do a Twitter space a little bit later. So in the meantime, I'm signing off here. Yeah, it was Cockroach said that Bill Cosby and him, yeah. But if you treat people right along the way, it's a lot harder for them to do that. I'm not saying Bill Cosby did what he did, but Bill Cosby definitely, and I don't like the way they broke the law. They broke the Constitution to put Bill Cosby in prison. That's why I defend Bill Cosby. Not because I like Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby has karma to deal with. He was definitely an asshole to people. So I'm not defending Bill Cosby the man. But what I will stand for is, even if I don't like you, I'm not cool with the Constitution being broken to put someone in prison, because that puts all of us in danger, every citizen and every tax-paying citizen in America. And my family's been in America since before there was an United States of America. My family's been in the Americas since before the 13 colonies. So, yeah, my ancestors fought in the Revolutionary War, the War of the Spanish-American War, Civil War, Vietnam War, Korea, World War I, World War II, and all in between. They fought for that Constitution. And that Constitution gives us rights. And I'm never going to defend a breaking of that Constitution to put anybody in jail. But I can defend the Constitution and people's constitutional right without necessarily caring about the person. So Bill Cosby getting these lawsuits and all that stuff going on, he obviously has a lot of heavy karma that he has to deal with. Yeah, they going after him, but niggas should know not to be smashing on them white, especially in the 70s, why he fucking on them white girls, man? Like, really? Leave them white girls alone. Niggas, fellas, you gotta leave them white girls alone. Just leave them alone. Leave them alone. We're in prison. America is a prison. We're prisoners of war. All right. But I appreciate y'all for being in the chat. Go, Erica Kane, Hi John, Biz Marti, Deco, Cold Crush, Mini FBA. Appreciate y'all, Biz Marti. If I didn't say your name, my bad. But we're at a different time now, and we're in a different frequency. Tap in, all right? And remember, there are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. I'm out.